All right, let's just cut right to it. The hard truth is, most of us are wasting our lives. And the scariest part? We won't even realize it until it's way too late. But what if you could see it all, right now? I mean, what if I told you that you probably only have a certain number of weeks left to live? 4,000. That's the number. Seriously, 4,000 weeks. If you're lucky, that's what you get for an entire lifetime. And, it's not like money. It's not some resource you can just get more of later. Nope. Every single week that ticks by is gone. Forever. And when you really let that sink in, man, that one number, it just changes everything. So you see, the real problem isn't the number of weeks we have. It's not about the 4,000. It's about how we just let so many of them drift away, without any real intention. We're not just losing time. We are actively wasting it, moment by moment, on stuff that, in the grand scheme of things, just doesn't matter at all.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's first dig into what our time actually is.
We've all heard that saying, time is money. Well, this is where we need to get real, because that is a total lie. It's just not true. Think about it. Money is renewable. If you lose it, you can always earn more, right? But time? It's finite. Once a second is gone, it is gone for good. You can't put minutes in a savings account for later. You can't work overtime to earn an extra hour in your day. Time is literally your life. Okay, let's make this hit home a little harder. Wasting just 2 hours a day, maybe on some mindless scrolling or that just one more episode trap, it doesn't feel like a big deal in the moment, does it? But let's do the math. Over a whole year, that's over 700 hours. We're talking more than 30 full 24-hour days. A whole month of your life just gone. Every single year. So the big question is, where are all these hours actually going? Let's take a closer look at the culprits, the silent thieves that are stealing your life away. And wow, this really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Over an average lifetime, we spend a staggering 7 years on social media. 7. Add another 3 years just watching TV. And get this, a full year just checking our phones. That adds up to 11 years. 11 years of our one precious life, just passively consuming stuff. But now, just for a second, imagine what would happen if you reclaimed just half of that time. We're not talking about turning into some superhuman productivity robot here. Just taking back a small fraction of that wasted energy. What could you do? What would actually be possible? In just 3.5 years, which is only half the time most of us spend on social media, you could literally reinvent yourself. I mean, you could master a skill that completely changes your career path. You could build a business from the ground up. You could learn a couple of new languages, get into the best shape of your life, or finally put in the work to heal mentally and emotionally. See, this isn't about needing to get a whole new life. It's about reclaiming the one you've already got. All right, so we've laid out the problem. It's pretty clear. Now let's talk solutions. It's time to arm ourselves with a toolkit to start fighting back. And the first tool in that kit is actually a mindset shift. It's called the Pareto Principle, but you probably know it as the 80-20 rule. It's this super simple but totally profound idea that for pretty much anything in life, 80% of your results come from just 20% of your effort. So the whole game becomes about finding that critical 20% and protecting it with everything you've got. Yeah, this visual shows it perfectly. Most of the stuff we do, that big 80% chunk of our effort, it's just noise. It makes us feel busy, sure, but it doesn't actually move the needle forward. The real progress, the stuff that actually changes your life, that all comes from that tiny, focused 20% slice of key actions. And that right there, that's the huge difference between just being busy and being effective. Being busy is all about worshiping your to-do list, just checking off a bunch of tasks. But being effective, that's about getting real, meaningful results. It means having the discipline to ignore the 100 things you could be doing so you can focus on the 1 or 2 things you absolutely must do. So, okay, how do you actually protect that 20%? Well, you need a system. And a really powerful one is called time blocking. It's where you design your day on purpose. So you might block out a solid 90 minutes first thing in the morning, no interruptions, for your biggest, most important goal. Then maybe you block 60 minutes in the evening just to reflect and learn. And all that little admin stuff, you bunch it together into short, focused windows.
Because let's be honest, if you don't design your day, something else will. Your phone will, your email inbox will, your worst habits will. You have to think of your calendar as a fortress. It's there to protect your mission, not just be a reflection of how you happen to feel when you wake up. And speaking of designing your time, here's a little secret that might surprise you. We all hear about morning routines, right? But honestly, it's what you do in the evening that really separates growth from stagnation. I mean, anybody can feel motivated when they're fresh and full of coffee. The real test, the real question is, what do you do when you're tired?
That's it. That is where greatness is forged. Instead of just numbing out with more scrolling or another show, you use that time to actually grow. Journal about your day. Read just one chapter of a book. Go for a walk without your phone, just to think. And probably the most important one, learn to say no to things that don't serve your mission. Because remember, every time you say yes to something, you're automatically saying no to something else.
And all of this, it all leads up to one final, really profound shift in how we see our lives. It's about moving from just passively existing to living with a sense of urgent purpose.
The ancient Stoics had a name for this practice. They called it memento mori, which just means remember you will die. Now, I know that sounds kind of dark, but it's not meant to be morbid at all. It's actually a tool for getting crystal clear on your priorities. It cuts through all the trivial nonsense, it quiets your ego, and it forces you to focus only on what truly, deeply matters.
And when you really face that reality head on, you start to realize something important. Death isn't the real enemy here.
A wasted life is. That's the enemy. The real terror is getting to the end and looking back with a mountain of regret for all those things you were gonna do someday.
So really, the choice is yours. You can keep living on default mode, just letting life happen to you, or you can take the controls. You can stop letting your life run you and start running your life on purpose, by design. So here it is, the formula to become time rich. First, you gotta prioritize your energy, sleep, food, movement, because time without energy is totally worthless. Second, focus deeply, one thing at a time, no multitasking. Third, take time every week to reflect. What stole my time? What gave me energy? And finally, learn to say no with love. Protect your peace. So let's just end on this thought. Don't wait. Don't wait until it's too late and you're wishing for just one more day, one more sunrise. The time to act is right now. So ask yourself this one question and be brutally honest with yourself. Because whatever you decide to do next, well, that changes everything.